Hello and welcome to week 11 of the OTR Love Team Time Trial Series. My name is Andy and I'll take you through the highlight show for League 3 with 4 teams. And they are OTR Eureka, Australia Koalas, 3R Wiggles and Australia Quokkas. Unfortunately, we were trying to record RTR, but I didn't get there in time, and I got kicked out just as I was registering. So apologies, RTR. So usual, let's get into Paceline and see how things go. Look at Fred for 3R Wiggles. He just shot off like a bullet. And everyone's now trying to play catch up with him. Australia Quokkas. I think you're going to see a number of issues with steering. Yeah, definitely problems with steering for this one. So Ricky is at the back of Quokkas trying to catch on, and his steering is causing him an absolute nightmare. But you'll see more of that in 3R Wiggles as well, I'm sure. So far, other than Ricky's off the back slightly with Quokkas, I don't see anyone else dropping, but we'll see more as we go along. So what you have noticed with 3R Wiggles is that Gav is no longer racing. He had lots of technicals with the internet and with his steering as well. Same for Fred. So unfortunately, Gav's not there anymore. For Eureka, I think everyone's together. Same for Australia Koalas. And Ricky's now back in with the group for Quokkas as well. So let's go run through Quokkas. We've got Callum, then you've got Scott, then Ricky, then you got Peter and Steve. 39.2 kilometres. For Australia Koalas, we've got a change in lineup this time. So we still have Wendy, Michelle, we still have Dave, but we have Andy Folks and Andy Hartley. So Andy F and Andy H. And Andy F is the rider that's sitting up. I wonder whether his CDA would change if he's sitting up. It'd be interesting to see. For Eureka, we've got Brian, Stephen, Johan and Stephen Elliott. So Stephen's on the front with Stephen Elliott, then Brian, then Johan. Closely followed behind at the back. And for 3R Wiggles, we have who's in front. So Fred's in front, then Euros, Spud, Jonathan Geddes, Lee Saunders, and as I say, we've lost Gav. So all in all, looking at the KPH, you've got Eureka and Koalas around about the same, so I would expect the same kind of performance from both those teams. And Wiggles and Quokkas, again, Quokkas is leading a little bit, so I'd expect Quokkas to be leading Wiggles, and that's reflected in the split time. So Eureka's 1820, Koalas is 1800. 3R Wiggles 1649 and Quokkas 1622. I need to check on the Koalas one because I think that's slightly wrong, because it should be for, it says 1800. So excellent. Okay, so where are we now? So for Eureka, you've still got Stephen Blackwell in front, then Stephen Elliott and Brian and Joanne. For Wiggles, Lee Saunders in front with Euros, Fred, Spud and Jonathan Geddes. Koalas, you got Dave in front with Michelle, Andy F, Andy H, and then Wendy at the back. All looking really good. Nobody's dropped so far at all. And the same for Quokkas. You got Scott, Ricky, Stephen, Steve, and you got Peter's there as well as Callum. So all in all looking really good. Slight gaps for Wiggles, but again those split times. So 26:53 for Eureka, Koalas at 26:32. 3 hour Wiggles is 24:47 on Australia Quokkas 24:04. And just to confirm, Australia Koalas 10k split times was at 18.00. So my mistake. And well done, Koalas. What we're not seeing on the Wiggles is lots of issues with steering. But I think, to be honest, that was in the first 5 kilometres. But there you go. So there's Fred. He tries to take out the field. Keep watching that, it's quite funny. And we've lost Ricky from Quokkas, so you've still got Scott, Peter, Steve and Callum, but Ricky's dropped to now 800 metres behind the rest of the team. And for Eureka, no, that's okay, because I was just going to say Brian was back a bit, but now he's come back into the group. And we are all together for Koalas, and again now we're all together for Wiggles. So OTR Eureka is 35:07, Koalas is 34:45, Wiggles is 32:32, and Quokkas is 31:37. So all looking relatively straightforward. So again, Eureka and Koalas are pretty similar, and Wiggles and Quokkas are pretty similar, and that's reflected in the speed that they're doing at the moment. So all in all, pretty good. Okay, so the finish. So we're coming up to the kite. Eureka's just gone through now, but we know that the order of it is slightly different. So Johan for OTR Eureka has dropped, so we have Brian, Stephen and Stephen Elliott. So those three need to finish. Wiggles just come through now, so again you've got Fred, Jonathan and Lee at the front, then a slight gap between Euros, and then a slight gap between Spud. But I think that will close up, and it's looking like that already. Quokkas, other than Ricky, you still have Callum, Peter, Scott and Steve all together still. And for Koalas, again you've got everyone there. So who's in the lead? Andy F, then Dave, Michelle, Andy H, and then Wendy. So Wiggles look as though they are dropping Spud with 460 metres to go. It's going to be interesting this, what the timings are going to be between the two groups of teams, OTR Eureka and Koalas, what their split times are going to be at the end, and then Wiggles and Quokkas, what their split times are going to be. So 100 metres to go for Eureka, 60. But looking at so Stephen Elliott and Brian, they're together, but Blackwell, so Stephen Blackwell, there's a slight gap, and that's reflected in the times as well. So 45:14 for Eureka, and you've got Yeah, 45.03 for Koalas. Wiggles is 41.48, and Quokkas is 40.36. So it was comparable, which is pretty good. So looking at the time splits, with Australia Koalas, then you've got Eureka, Wombats, RTR, Wiggles and Quokkas. Quokkas leading that time split. And if we go to the results for League 3, Australia Quokkas are on 20 points, 3R Wiggles are on 19. So could we see in week 12 a switch where you get a tie at the top for League 3, or will Quokkas pull out a gap again? It'll be interesting to see. Followed by RTR, which has been the most improved team for League 3 in this series, I think, personally. Australia Wombats, OTR Eureka, they are on 9 points. Australia Koalas on 8, and Pokemotion at the bottom on 2. Now they haven't been racing this quarter. So interesting. Let's all wait for week 12, see how things go. It's exciting, isn't it? Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next week. Take care.